All right, let's see. All right, guys, we're gonna get some leads going. Um, and yeah, I got some stuff to talk about. I'm very happy to be here. I gotta tell you, it is so good to be back. Um, I will tell you, 2025 was a great year. So hope you guys had a good year. I'm gonna mess around just here for a minute and see if anybody's with us. Let me see what I can see here. Last time I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought there was nobody out here, and there really was. So let's see now. Analytics. Stream is healthy. And all right. Well, looks like there may be one person out here right now. But you know what? I'll just get going here and give me a like if you haven't already. If not too many people show up, remember, for you, that's a good thing because that means you don't got to share me. You got questions. You wanna know how I got to a 500,000 for the year 2025. You got me. If you're not there already, if you are there, you want to help me to get even further. Uh, let's see what we got here. I guess Angel says hello. I appreciate it. Great to have you. I am a sucker for the chat. I'm only going to be out here for maybe a half an hour or something because I got other stuff to do. But I'm a sucker for the chat. I'm telling you right now. If you interact with me, if you got questions, if you want to engage, I cannot leave. You will hold me captive with your own attention. So know that. Um, let's see. Now I may repeat this if we get some more people in before I leave, but this is, who is this really for? Honestly, guys, I just gotta be honest with you. This is more so the content is for everyone, but it's gonna be probably the most beneficial for those who already have an Amazon account. Uh let's see. How's Karen doing? She is doing great. We meet every week in a private group that I've had for years. And yeah, she's having a pretty good year herself. Thank you for asking. And let me know who you are. You apparently you're a working class hustler, but I'm not recognizing the name. Hey, I'm doing good. Appreciate it, man. It's just great to be back. Um, this content today is really it could really be beneficial for those who already have an account. Uh, I tell you, this it is my sincere belief that 2026 is just going to be so good for people who have an existing Amazon account. And if you've been paying attention, Amazon is making it increasingly difficult for new people. Um, if you are brand new to the platform, it is going to be very, very hard for me to recommend that you come and really make Amazon the place where you really want to build your business. Now, can you do it? Absolutely. But it is going to be an uphill battle. So, it's just not like it used to be. And Amazon has made it crystal clear. They are no longer really making it welcome for the casual seller. This really isn't the place where you can just dip your toes in the water like you used to be able to do. That's just not the situation. So, but remember, if you know, if this is what you really want to do, then by all means, take in the content. I would recommend, if you haven't even opened your account, don't do anything. Just use this this content, this community that we're building together right now. Use this to learn, you know, and that way you can try to make it as easy as you can. And you do that by figuring out how to take advantage, you know. So looks like we had another person to join. So welcome to you. Why don't you drop something in the chat real quick just so that we can recognize you. Um, and I'm gonna ask, if you already have an Amazon account, can you please put in the chat yes? That way I know you already have an Amazon account and the number of years, maybe even your favorite category. Okay. Yes, if you have an Amazon account, how many years you've had it, what's your favorite category. And you could just say no if you have no account. We got a question. What do you think about Amazon next month starting to pay 7 days after the buyer received the order? Great question. I was going to address that, but now that you brought it up, we're going to talk about it right now. I actually think, for those who are established, this is going to be huge. If you stick around and if you can make it through this, if you could figure out how to adjust your business around this, this is going to lead yet another wave of Amazon sellers off of the platform. This is going to cause, I would estimate at least 15% of current Amazon sellers will leave the site, because they're just, you got to understand, business people are just like regular W-2 wage workers. In other words, typical wage workers live paycheck to paycheck. Most businesses live paycheck to paycheck. Well, when you add, you know, the DD plus 7, which is what you're referring to, and now it's going to take at least another week for you to have those funds come to you. It's going to knock some people out. They're just not ready for that. An additional week is like an eternity for business, especially established businesses. Now, you guys may know I work a regular job and it is a career. Like, you could live off my career. And then I have the Amazon business. So Karen's out here checking in. Somebody was asking about you. But this is, a week is an eternity. An additional week, that is going to seem like forever. And another thing, Amazon is doing this deliberately. They keep doing things. It's become systemic. They just keep doing things to make it more and more difficult for us. They are literally trying to push people away. But for those who can stay, who can make it, man, it is going to open up. And that's one of the reasons why I think I had such a good year. This working class hustler, long time working class hustler right here, since 2016. Favorite category: clothing and shoes, also toys. Amazing. Now you've been knowing me for a long time, and you remember, I was selling everything. And then, I came back to the platform in 2017, and I ended up in snack foods, and that's where I've been. And now I've got years in it. And so I've built relationships, systems, and everything else. And so this new DD plus 7, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, it's going to be a challenge. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to change some of my business practices. I'm literally going to have to restructure my strategy, I'm ready. I'm up for the challenge because I know what that could mean uh, in terms of growth. Let's see here. Can we, if you're out here and you have not left a comment, can you please drop a comment at least so we know? You just say hello. That way I know. Um, so yeah, this is why I really think this is the best time ever to be on the platform if you have an existing account, if you're already established. You're going to find that even with everything that's going on that's crazy in terms of gating and stuff like that, you still got a leg up. You're still going to be grandfathered into certain things. You're just going to be able to do things. I was watching some content the other day, and they were saying it's so hard for newbies. You can't even get into books anymore. If you're brand new to the platform, you have nothing established. They're making it hard, and you've got to give receipts and everything just to sell books. 7-year bookseller here, all A to A. Thank you for your content. Am I thinking about going to the Miami Sellers Conference that's happening in May? No, I hadn't thought about it. I would, that I'm sure there would be some benefit to that. I would love to do it, but where I'm at with my between business and work and family, I just have not made it a priority to go to events like that. I probably should. I know there would be a benefit to it. So I'm glad you asked. Are you going to go? Let me know what you're thinking. Let's see. Tell you what, let's take a look at a lead that I found now, regardless of what your category is. Because this is one of the main reasons I wanted to come out here, was literally just to go over some leads. I can't promise you anything. You guys know how this is. You may not be able to sell it. It may not be your jam. But if you're out here or you come across this video later and you're just not getting it done, if you're not doing, I mean, I know everybody has their own set of goals. But I'm telling you right now, I'm looking to get to 7 figures. I got halfway there. I'm ready to do the next half this year. I'm ready to get to 7 figures. And you got to get started, guys. So don't worry about the leads that I'm giving you if you can't make a move on them right now. Sometimes the value is just getting the juices flowing, getting you thinking, getting you in motion. If you don't like the category, if you don't like the lead, it's no big deal. But let me just say this before we get into it. Think about sitting in a car and worried about which way you turn in the steering wheel. And then I walk up to you and say, okay, you ain't even moving yet. Let's get you moving. Then you can start steering. Okay. So for those of you who have not been getting the volume, the sales, the revenue that you're really looking for, a lot of times you got to get in motion. One of the things that really helped me was just moving and ending up somewhere that I never would have expected. But the motion, the momentum is what got me there. So let me see if I can share my screen here. So in order to do that, first I'm gonna move this over here. I gotta move some stuff around, guys. Now, while I'm setting this up, I'm going to tell you, if you want to know me personally, because I like to show receipts and I don't really like to talk in theory. I like to talk about what's really going on. It took me going wholesale to really get going. Can you get to nice revenue with arbitrage? Absolutely. But I'm just telling you what I did. So as anytime I'm doing arbitrage, I'm eventually seeing if I can actually work with that brand or the distributor of that brand and getting into some wholesale, because at that point I can do the numbers, the volume that I want to do. Let's see. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to add this. Let's see here. And let me see. This may or may not work. Let's see. I wanna show my highlighter. Give me a second. I may have that wrong. Let's see. Okay, that's on. Maybe let me try it like this and see if that works. I'll try that one more time. If I don't get it the next time, forget it. We'll worry about it next time. But I like to show my highlighter if I can. It ain't working. Oh well. Let's see. So then I can turn it off here. So if you can't see it, I don't need it up there. So what we're looking at, guys, we are looking at a pair of mechanics gloves impact. They're the extra large and they're in brown. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to sell these. If not, sorry. But they're $10 with free shipping. And here they are on Amazon. If these are the same ones. Now, you'd have to do your due diligence. So this is more or less an example. They look the same. And we're looking at the extra large. Now, you guys, I use Seller 365 3 Colts. So with that, you get Scout X. That's what you're looking at right here. If you can follow my mouse. And I do another thing you got to remember, guys. I do merchant fulfilled. I do not do FBA. I got my reasons. I don't think I'm going to get into it right now unless you want to know. You put that in the chat if you want to know why I choose specifically to stay away from FBA. I'll tell you all about it. But your net profit would be, and again, they said free shipping. Your net profit would be $21.33. Again, I don't know if you would be able to sell this. Should be pretty light, even if it costed you like $8 or so. You still walk away with 133% return on investment, 36% margin. And let's see. No, I don't use a prep center. That would have been years ago if you saw that. Oh my God. I have not used a prep center. I'm going to say, it was before COVID. So yeah, it's been a minute, bro. So yeah, I'm sorry. I could not recommend a prep center. Put in the chat, guys, if you haven't already, put in the chat if you already have an Amazon account, when you had it, since when, how long have you had it, what's your favorite category. I'm telling you, if you're here with me right now and you already have your account, I can almost guarantee you're about to have a stellar year. I can almost guarantee it. I'm gonna put my big head back out there for a second. I tell you what, 7-year bookseller. I would love to have a conversation with you. I'm not interested in selling books myself, but I'm definitely interested in that category. Hey, check this out. This is if it's a 9-inch bubble machine, right? Um, one costs $24. Now I don't know what the shipping is on this. By the way, if anything catches you and you really want to look into it, I can put the links in the chat if you guys want to look at this. But this bubble maker, let's see if it's the right one. We're looking at a 9-inch. And mind you, this thing probably isn't selling that much. Let me see something because this that keeper chart is looking mighty flat. I just thought it was interesting. If you could get it for 24, which I'm pretty sure you're going to pay shipping anyway, but your net profit would be 1850, not including the shipping, and that's a 77% return on investment, 37% margin. Again, before shipping. But it amazes me when you get into arbitrage, you are exposed to so much. One of the benefits to arbitrage is the mental activity. I mean, it literally works your mind, your brain out, processing and ending up looking at things that you would never. You don't wake up saying, "Let me look for a bubble machine maker," right? Uh, you don't get into. You don't think, oh, I want to be in business. What do you want to sell? Bubble machine makers? No, that ain't what you be thinking. Um, this one might be interesting. Check this one out. Let me get my head out of here for a second. Now, this says, and you guys can let me know. Hold on, I think I got the wrong thing going. Well, you know what? So here's what it is. It's an artist spray paint interchangeable cap. But see, that's the wrong one. This is what we're looking at is a level 4. This one is a level 3. So maybe give me a second. Okay, here's the level 4. Let that keep a chart load. Oh, that's pretty flat. I cannot believe you guys got to look at this with me. There's just no way that somebody's going to pay almost $30 for a cap, but it says one count, pack of one. And of course, it's a suppressed buy box. You got to be kidding me. So this dude is charging $16.32 and $12 for shipping one cap. And then he wonders why he's not getting any sales. If you're going to pay 44 cents a cap, you could go up against this guy at his price. You got to be able to knock him out of the water. I'm not saying this is a good deal. The purpose was not to find you a good deal. The purpose of this was just to get you to consider. And I thought, you know what? Maybe one of you guys, if you're out there in the chat and you know something, let us know. Let's come back. Let's see here. Let's come back to something I want to talk about. Put in the chat, guys, approximately what is the gross revenue that you would like to do this year? I've said it before. I'll say it again. I want to do 7 figures, $1 million. Okay. And you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about it. Last year I said I wanted to do a $500,000. I didn't quite get there. I got to $493,412. Okay. So I was in the ballpark. Let's see. Could be a stellar cash year, but cash flow management could be an issue for some. Exactly, Karen. That is exactly uh, what I think is going to knock some businesses out. Specifically, the funny thing of it is, it's going to be specifically the businesses that are established, the businesses that are actually living off of the revenues, depending on it to make payroll and things of that nature. They're just not going to be. There are some that are going to get knocked out because they just cannot afford to have their cash flow restricted even more than what it already was. You're getting paid, if you're like me, you're getting disbursements every 2 weeks as it is. And now you're still getting the same 2 week pay schedule, but what's going to be dispersed? Well, what got delivered and then and has had an additional 7 days after that. Well, that's what's available today. Now, there is a possibility if your sales are consistent, eventually things will adjust, will level out, if you will, and you'll still get the same amounts eventually, but what's being paid out, what's represented in the payouts is our sales from three weeks ago versus 2 weeks ago, for example. I think that could happen. So, and if that happens, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, put in the chat, guys, how much you want to do. What kind of revenue would you like to grow to? What type of growth are you looking for? Because we got to address it. It's the elephant in the room. And we gotta start asking the tough questions. The main one that I want to talk about is, we're out here on these platforms and we're gathering information. The truth is, guys, you really don't need more information. You got enough information. You live in the information age, and you're out here on these platforms to get information. You're out there using AI to get information. It's information, it's research, it's all of this learning. And if you still ain't getting the numbers that you want, and you haven't seen, major increases in your revenue, you have to ask yourself one question: why? Because you got all the information. So why you're not doing the numbers you want to do? And I am going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say it's not the information. That's not your problem. You don't need more information. What you need is transformation. It's not about what you're learning. It's about what you're doing. So, and we all know the old adage, if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome, that's the definition of what? Insanity. So let me see. I'm not seeing anybody put in the chat what kind of revenue they're looking to have in the year 2026. Okay? I'm going to ask again, and I'm going to tell you mine again, and this will be the last time, because I cannot force you to want to grow your Amazon business. I cannot force you to want. See, because here's how this works, guys. You don't get more because you say you want more. You get more because you say you want more, and then you have to become the person who can get more. That's going to require a change in you. That's going to require you to do more, to be more, to become more. That is what this is all about. Okay. Give me if you don't mind, guys, if you could give me a like. If you're out here and you haven't given a like already, that really helps the algorithm. might help us to reach more people who want to be working class hustlers and get to that bag. All right, tell you what, we're gonna look at another lead, and let's see. And then I'm gonna talk a little bit about how things got to where they are for me. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So let me share my screen again. That's what we were looking at. Check this out. So now there's a good chance you wouldn't be able to sell this. When you look at a keeper chart and you see Amazon all over it like that, and then you see a brand like this. Now, mind you, you've got 6 sellers. That's always a good sign when you see some sellers like this. So I'm not saying that you're going to be able to sell it, but what I like is I like the size of it. It's pretty small. See how that fits right under the leg? Looks like it's selling for $27.95, but always that's the buy box. The buy box does not get 100% of the sales. Now, listen, you're talking to a guy who does not focus on the buy box. I can't stand the buy box. Now, there are other people that are having massive success with buy boxes and fighting over buy boxes and worrying about who got the buy box. I don't have time for that. But if that's what you like, trust me, Amazon would want nothing more than for you to be concerned with a buy box. But my point is this. If you got, let's see, this guy is $18.99 plus $8.73. So basically, you're basically about, no matter how you look at it, you're right around $28. This other guy is $26.20 with free shipping. But I'm not saying you got to try to make that work, because here's where you're buying it. And again, you probably couldn't jump on this. This is just an idea. Heck, they only got one, according, if this website is even accurate, they only got one available anyway. So this wouldn't really work. But this is just to give you an idea. You know, Amazon is selling it. I don't run away from Amazon. I don't necessarily run to them either, but I don't run away from them. Let me see something here. And heck, even with Amazon, it's not that many sales going on with it. But what I like is, not including whatever shipping you would have to, pay or whatever. You're looking at a $9 net profit. You'd have to work the numbers on this, but I'm telling you guys, you got to remember something. Okay. I've had this channel since 2017. I'm not going nowhere. I may be offline for a little while, but something is always going to bring me back. It's part of my purpose. I tried to leave this platform. It's not going to happen. But so what I'm saying is this: we're going to keep coming back. We're going to keep stimulating, motivating, and causing you to take action if you are so inclined to do so. Trying to do 300,000 in sales in 2026, bro. Consider it done. There's nothing that can stop you. I can go over, tell you what we could do. We could go over my numbers from 2019 up into the present. If you want, if you'd like to do that, just put in the chat, type in receipts if you want to know the numbers. And we can go over my numbers, how things have been for me. 300,000 in sales, bro. I'm telling you, you can do it. Karen said, I'm hyper focused on increasing my spend. because there's no way I can spend at my current level and increase my revenue. About 200K is the sweet spot for me this year. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that is not a common way that people look at it. They don't look and say, okay, if if I want to get to a certain number in revenue, I got to be buying enough, because you make the money when you buy. If you know how to buy, you ain't got to worry about selling it. You know what I mean? We got enough. Here we go again, guys. We got enough information. Whether that information comes from our own experience, the experience of others, Chat GPT, whatever, we got the information. So you you can figure out the right products to sell. I'm trying to give you some, ways just to stimulate your mind so that you can go out and find the products you want. But I'm telling you, um, my man, you want to do 300,000 in sales. Here's the reason why I know you can do it this year. You already got your lane. You know books. Look at, let me see. You've been selling books for 7 years. That means you know the titles that work for you. You know the subjects that work for you. You know where to get the books. Everything that you could have ever experienced in selling books, you've already experienced in 7 years. I know this. So you're ready. Now, what we're looking at here, I'm not really going to show my sensitive data, but we're going to look at, I'm looking at my 1099Ks. So in 2019, I did $105,295.87. Okay. 105,000. Then in 2020, I doubled that, but that was COVID. I went from 105,000 to 205,000. Guys, this was 5 years ago. Okay. But that was COVID. Okay. 2021, we went from 205,000. We dropped down to 125,000 in 2021. Okay. 2022, we went from 125,000 to 186,000. Okay. So we went up a little bit, 125 to 186. Then let's see, that's 2020. That was 2022. We went to 186,000. 2023, we went from 186,000 to 212,873. Okay. That was 2023. Then in 2024, we dropped down again, guys. We went from 212,000, we dropped down to 187,000 in 2024. Then in 2025, we went from 187,000 to 493,000. So let's talk about what happened. Okay. How did it happen for me? Forgive me if I begin to preach. If you haven't already, guys, give me a like, please, a thumbs up for the algorithm, and type something in that chat. If you just say hi, get involved, acknowledge, so that you can be acknowledged. But yeah. So here's what happened. You have to understand everything I tell you, I could get into the specifics of what I did. None of that means anything except for one thing. I kept going. And this is why when you say that you want to get to 300,000 in sales, but earlier you let me know you've been a bookseller for 7 years, I already know you're going to do it because it's just a matter of time. Okay. I can get into the specifics and I love getting into the specifics, but it all boils down to one thing. None of that means anything if you don't stick with this. And I stuck with it through everything, through a divorce, through getting kicked out of my house and literally having to work the business out of a tent. You can go back and you can look at videos that we did on the channel from 2022, 2023, and you can see me working out of a tent because that's what I had to do with the business. And things were happening beneath the surface, things that I could not be consciously aware of because I couldn't see beneath the surface. But there was something that was growing. There was something that the universe was causing, putting into action. And it's doing the same thing for you. I can't tell you, bro, if you've been doing this books for 7 years, it may be 10 years, and then all of a sudden, boom. But I'm thinking it's going to be this year for you because with what Amazon is about to do with the payouts, it's going to knock out a significant amount of your competition. And if you can outlast, if you can stay, if you can keep your boat afloat in the water long enough, and you have set your sails, eventually the winds of change will fill those sails, and then you will be able to steer and direct to wherever it is you want your destination to be. So I had to get that, I had to clear that first, because all this starting and stopping, you losing your momentum. You've got to be moving, okay? Relationships. Thank you. Relationships was huge. I started in the snack food business in 2017. So I've had all of that time, whatever it is, 8 years or whatever it may be, to build relationships with manufacturers, wholesalers, vendors, suppliers, warehouses, all of that. It takes years to build the trust, to build the rapport. It is well worth it because now, oh my God, the things that I get now, you're just not going to get walking up to some stranger and saying, oh, I sell on Amazon. Bro, now all my suppliers know I sell on Amazon. It doesn't matter because now we know each other. So I'm not worried about if they're going to look at me strange, and they're not looking at me like, what? You know what I mean? We've got years and years of working together. That's why I'm telling you, you've got to put the time in. You've got to pay attention. You got to learn from your mistakes. Guys, I made terrible and horrible mistakes, but I learned from them. I kept on grinding. I kept coming back. You know, stay in this business, build the right relationships, and you may never get smart enough. It'll take one of your contacts to grab you and shake you and say, look, fool, this is what you're doing wrong. I've had that happen too. So you got to build those relationships. Don't hide, talk. If you're doing retail arbitrage, don't hide in the store. Talk. Let them know. I mean, you don't have to announce that you're selling on Amazon, but it's no secret that you're a reseller, okay? At least when I was doing primarily retail arbitrage, I was chaining 3 and 4 carts worth of merchandise going through a line. I mean, come on. Anybody can figure it out. They don't care in most cases. Are there some stores that care? Yes. You work around that. It don't matter. Just keep going. Over time, I learned systems. I had to learn for myself. FBA just wasn't going to work. FBA is not good for grocery and gourmet because it has expiration dates on it. It was taking up too much time. You know, you've got a shelf life with this stuff. It's not like some people can sell things and they might finally sell something that they've literally been sitting on for years. It happens all the time. That's not going to happen with perishable items. So I was dealing with a different beast altogether. That's okay. You know, I used to talk about this a lot. I would always lean into the more difficult categories. Everybody wants to do FBA because they don't want to do the individual shipping. So I leaned into merchant fulfill because that's where the majority were not going. You see what I'm saying? I'm always looking for that degree of separation. And the easiest way to find a degree of separation is to take the harder road. Most people are lazy. Most people are lazy. I don't want to say it a third time for the people in the back. Most people are lazy. That means that when you're out here selling on Amazon and you see these successful Amazon sellers, the ones that'll never go away, they don't quit. They will be here. Most of them are lazy. So, and they're looking for the easiest way. So if you're willing to do a little more work, you're going to do a little better. If you're willing to do a lot more work, you're going to do a lot better. And then you know what I did? I hired 2 people to do some of the laborious tasks, the repetitive tasks that I just can't do. You know, as the business grew, one thing that was stifling me before in those earlier years, I didn't have any help. I can only pack so many boxes and work a full-time job with overtime. So I got help. That's another thing that I did. So you want to consider that. Even if you're doing FBA, you want to consider getting some help. You're going to be limited. That's okay, depending on what your goals are. But if you're trying to do 300,000 in sales, you could do that as a one-man show. You could. But I guarantee you, when you get there, when you get to 300,000, you're going to want to start looking to get some help. Okay. And I don't know, are you doing FBA or are you doing merchant fulfilled? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. But yeah, let me see. Do I have any more items I could share with you today? Nah, I think we got enough. We can wrap, guys, unless you got any more questions, comments. Let me know. I'll give you a few, I'll give you a minute or so. If nobody got any questions, we can wrap it up till next time. I'll be back just as soon as I can. I'm in the process of actually forming a new community, you know, where we can really get into an environment where we can really talk, interact, bounce ideas, and get you that accountability, get you, you know, where you're going to be taking some action and get to that 300,000 or whatever it is that you're trying to do. For those of you that are actually, you know, you've got regular recurring income, if you're not doing it, I had to learn this, guys, and I had to learn the hard way. You've got to put some revenue back. You've got to have some cash reserves. They're going to serve you well. For example, you know, we're talking about these new payouts. You know, if you don't have any cash reserves, you're going to end up in a cash crunch. And that's what's going to knock some people out. So I actually got to do some running around with the business here, and it's Saturday. Let's see. No, I don't have a Facebook. I'm in the process of creating the group. It's not finished yet, the back office type stuff. Just keep coming out here. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. That way I know I don't lose you. And it won't be long. It was gonna happen this month. Um, so I'll just keep you posted. Just keep coming out. You must be subscribed though. How did you even find me? Were you notified that I was going live today? No problem. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm just looking around here. Let me see here. Da, 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 da. Look at that. Only got 9 likes. We had like 22 people come out here. I got to get better. All right, so okay, you're a subscriber and you were notified. Good to go. Look for me next time. It'll be sometime next week. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, we'll be in touch. I'll see if I can find a few more items. Um, and we'll keep it going, guys. Love you all, and I'll catch you on the next live.